Welcome to the channel, my name is Ian, and today we are doing another tier list video, but what kind of ranking are we going to be doing? Well, today we are going to be ranking Phase 5 of Marvel Studios' Multiverse saga. Now, as of July 1st, at the beginning of this month, Marvel Studios released their final project, IronHeart, which was the final project of Phase 5, and in the next couple days, we will move into Fantastic Four First Steps, which will be the start of Phase 6, which I'm very excited to go see that movie. As we look at Phase 5 as a whole, we can obviously see that there are some projects that were really good and really bad. So we are going to start with Ant-Man the Wasp: Quantumania. Now, in my opinion, I think they overhyped this movie a lot. Now, recently Kevin Feige stated that after the events of this movie and before some of the events that happened with Jonathan Majors, they were already planning to pivot to Doctor Doom, which I personally do not believe at all, because Marvel Studios had a whole plan set up for Kang the Conqueror to be like the next Thanos, to be the next big bad of the Multiverse saga. In my honest opinion, this movie has some flaws and is one of the more not likable movies of the MCU of Phase 5, but I do not think that Kang the Conqueror was the one thing that was bad about the movie. I personally think Jonathan Majors' Kang or take on the character was very cool, it was kind of menacing in some cases, but he felt powerful. He felt like a conqueror. He felt like a ruler. I think just because of his character alone, I would put the movie in C. Next up is Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I would say this is an A tier movie. This is a very interesting movie to come off of the events of Avengers Endgame. It also has a lot of really good music, a lot of good chemistry with the characters, and the whole story behind Rocket is very, very heartbreaking in some parts because, one, it's an animal. Some people don't. Actually, most people don't like animal cruelty because it's not a good thing. But this specific movie felt more like a Rocket story. I felt like the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie was about the team coming together and having a group of misfits learning to work together as a crew. Then you have the second Guardians of the Galaxy, which felt more centered around Star-Lord and his father. And then in this third one, this one feels more like it's centered around Rocket as we dive more into his backstory and who he is. And in some cases, this movie does make references to, I think, Infinity War and Endgame, but it also feels like its own separate thing where you don't have to watch Loki, or you don't have to watch Thor Ragnarok, or you don't have to watch, like, Spider-Man to understand this movie. It feels like you can just watch Guardians of the Galaxy 1, 2, Infinity War, Endgame, and that's it, and then you're good. Secret Invasion. D. That show sucked. I believe this show came out around the time of the AI writer strike or actor strike. I think it came out somewhere around that point. And I think they stated that the opening credits to this show was also done by AI. I do kind of see why they used it, because the show is supposed to be about, like, there are these shape-shifting aliens that can come to Earth and have been on Earth for years, and they're slowly taking over, which in a way it's kind of like a topic that's slowly starting to come up in our everyday society, where you have AI almost kind of taking over in a way where people are trying to say, oh, they're going to take your jobs and everything. And to my response to that, there are certain jobs that AI can do and they can do pretty well. There are other jobs that they can't do, because if they are so powerful and they're always learning and doing new things, they would be able to take the job I currently have. The show is not good. There was a lot of things that were kind of all over the place. I believe they killed Maria Hill at the end of the first episode. The Super Skrull was very stupid because they basically said, oh, let's give all the DNA of all these characters from the Battle of Endgame and put it in this one Super Skrull graphic. And I don't even know what the characters, because there was another female Skrull that took all the powers and also became a Super Skrull and then just peaced out. So we don't know where the hell she is. But honestly, this show was just not enjoyable or fun to watch. That is basically the complete opposite of what, in my opinion, Loki Season 2 was. Because I honestly think Loki Season 2 is a great continuation of of Loki. The first season is like the first half of a book, and then the second season is like the second half of a book. I do like what they did with Loki season 2, where they basically did a great job of writing off Kang's character. The multiverse is now being protected and allowed to grow through the Yggdrasil tree, while Loki sits at the end of time holding everything together. And so instead of pruning other timelines, the TVA is just going after Kang variants, or He Who Remain variants. I love a lot of the acting in the show, and a lot of the music, the story, a lot of the dialogue. I think the final episode is one of the best episodes of the whole show, but the show as a whole is still a really good show. I would highly recommend going to check out season 1 and season 2. And in a way, season 1 and season 2, you gotta think, the show Loki takes place outside of space and time. It's kind of hard to see where season 2 takes place. I believe season 2 takes place like right after the events of season 1. So in a way, you could watch season 1 and season 2 back to back and go into the multiverse saga with it. It's kind of hard to understand and explain. I kind of want to go back and rewatch it again just so I can understand it. The Marvels. The Marvels is D tier. Some of the visuals were pretty cool. Iman Vellani's acting in the movie was pretty good. I didn't really care for, Carol Danvers, because they basically nerfed her. They basically nerfed the crap out of her. They basically had her fighting Thanos one-on-one. Yes, she was struggling a little bit, but Thanos is a little bit of a tougher opponent. But at the same time, in this next movie, she's fighting some Kree soldier that has a similar hammer to Ronin with the power of a bangle, allowed Kang or whoever to create the jump gates in the universe, and she was losing. So it's like, how are you fighting Thanos one-on-one a couple movies ago, and now you're struggling here? What happened? Did you just become lazy? Have you just not done anything? It really pissed me off how much they decided to nerf the character. And honestly, the only saving grace of this movie is the end credit scene, where we find out that Monica Rambeau is stuck in a parallel universe, but it's actually the universe of the X-Men, because we see Beast, played by Kelsey Grammer, show up, which was a huge surprise to me. What If season 2? Okay, the reason why I'm gonna put this show in C, and mostly because I understand that not a lot of people like the What If show. The first season was good. It did have some good moments in What If scenarios, but it did get to a point in season 2 and season 3 where you had Captain Carter be like the face of the whole What If show. I thought the whole purpose of What If was going to be exploring different what if scenarios and not adding Captain Carter into it. And it was whatever. I like the animation. I haven't seen animation done like that before in previous shows or anything else like that. But one thing I did like about the second season is that they did one episode per day at the end of the year, so it led up till Christmas. Then we get to the Echo TV show. Honestly, I'd say this is a good, even middle ground TV show. In some cases, I had a hard time getting into this one though. Forget everything I was gonna say. I barely remember the show. All I remember is that we follow the events of what happened of Hawkeye with Maya Lopez. She's trying to stop Kingpin, or I think I remember her getting powers or something that allowed her to heal Kingpin, but it basically just gets undone in Daredevil Born Again, so what was even the point? The only thing I remember from Echo was the ending of that show where Kingpin was considering running for mayor of New York. Deadpool and Wolverine. Yes, I don't care what you say. This is my opinion. This is my list. You can make your own list and make your own opinions. I think Deadpool and Wolverine is one of the better. It's one of the better Phase 5 projects, and I do believe it is one of my top 10 favorite MCU movies because one, Deadpool and Wolverine. We have some X-Men, some mutants joining the MCU. We also get some cameos and callbacks to other projects such as Blade, Elektra, Fantastic Four from the Fox universe. We get so many cool cameos and honestly such a good performance from both actors, or both leads, I guess you could say, with Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds. I'd say that Deadpool and Wolverine is one of the best multiverse movies in Phase 5, or multiverse projects. Agatha All Along. I didn't really care for Agatha All Along at the beginning of the show. I mean, the first episode was very interesting. I think once it got to episode 2, it just lost me. It got to a point where I'm like, what am I watching? What's the point of any of this? I think it wasn't till episode 6 where we got the backstory of Billy, and we've like figured out how he survived in some cases, and now his brothers possibly survived. How many episodes were there? 9? I think episodes 1, 6, maybe 9 and 8 were like my favorite ones. Like, we get to learn about Agatha's backstory a little bit and her history. Majority of the show I didn't really care for. I didn't know really what was happening. I know it's supposed to be like a sequel to WandaVision, and apparently there's going to be a sequel to Agatha All Along called Vision Quest. I think that's still the plan that Marvel Studios came up with. I don't know. Either way, to me, this show was just mid. It was okay. And I swear they played the same stupid song or every even number episode, like Down the Witch's Road. So they played in episode 2, they played in episode 4, they played in episode 6. I don't think they played in episode 8 though, but they played it in episode 9. I'm tired of hearing this stupid song. I don't care for it. Then we get What If Season 3. This show sucked. Honestly, the final season of What If, it could have been good. There could have been a lot of other things that were done differently. The thing that really pissed me off about What If Season 3 was at the end of the show, I believe they started showing like, or they had like some kind of weird dialogue saying like, oh, the multiverse is so vast. There's so many things you can do. There's so many strange new wonders you can have. And I swear, throughout each new thing that they were, throughout the ending dialogue, there were so many different and cool other what if scenarios that they were showing us, or what if characters that they were showing us. No, there was like a Wolverine Thanos, or like a Project X Thanos, Spider-Man with some other tech. Like there were so many other cool things, like maybe a Ghost Rider Spider-Man type of thing. There were so many other cool things, and I'm like, why didn't we see this in the show? Why couldn't we have seen this? Like, What If could have been such a cool show, but because of marketing and greed, they're like, let's throw Captain Carter in there and make her like the main face of it, which is just stupid. Okay, then we get into projects that were in 2025. We have Captain America Brave New World. This movie, in my opinion, I do think it's another average movie, and I would say that it is good, but it kind of would hurt me. There were some parts of this movie that were okay and interesting, and some of the fighting choreography was really well done. The introduction to Red Hulk was really cool in a way, but I don't like that they promoted the movie solely on Red Hulk being there and him having to fight Sam Wilson, because they promoted the crap out of it so much, and yet they only have a fight that lasts like maybe 5 to 10 minutes. There were some parts of the movie that I could tell were different takes or different shots from whenever they had to do reshoots through everything. It's one of those movies that I want to like, but I by pure default, I can't. Daredevil Born Again, A tier. This is an A tier TV show and a honestly interesting continuation of the Daredevil Netflix show. I know that in some cases, for this specific show, I don't think they were specifically trying to continue the Daredevil show that was once on Netflix but is now on Disney Plus, because apparently it's part of the MCU timeline canon stuff. It did something different. It decided to give us like a whole new cast of characters, and while still keeping, Kingpin and Daredevil and stuff. But they added some new characters here and there to kind of replace Foggy and Karen for some reason. And I'm not going to say one of the reasons for one of the characters, because if you know, you know. If you don't, go watch it. Daredevil Born Again Season 2 has just finished filming, and they should begin editing it pretty soon. There's a chance that we might get the Defenders showing up again in Daredevil Born Again Season 2, where we have, a vigilante team of, comprised of Daredevil, Punisher, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, Luke Cage. There's a chance we could maybe see Spider-Man there. Marvel and Sony have issues with all this stuff, so probably not, but dear God, I wish I could. Overall, to say, great show. I loved it. I love seeing Charlie Cox back again as Matt Murdock, and the suit that he has for the show it's incredible. Again, the fight choreography for certain parts of the show are so cool. I love watching Matt just let loose. Now we get on to the more recent projects that came out. So as of May 1st of 2025, we had Thunderbolts. And I think Thunderbolts is an S tier movie. When you think about everything that we actually have here, in recent years, the movie side of Phase 5 were just not good. We had 3 movies here: Captain America: Brave New World, Quantumania, and Marvels. Not so great movies. But Thunderbolts was something that is like a really cool gem that you found in the dirt and you weren't expecting to find it. And the best way I can honestly explain the Thunderbolts movies is it kind of reminds me of a more grounded, Earth-based Guardians of the Galaxy, where you have a bunch of characters that are misfits, who are people that have been either betrayed or people that have had terrible lives or have been viewed as anti-heroes or done bad things, and they want to make a name for themselves and they want to be better people. And in the end, they were able to come together to help a specific character named Bob overcome his mental illness and his dark side, and not to give in to that anger and that hatred and that loneliness. Another thing this movie did was its message was targeted towards mental health, which was a very interesting thing to see in a Marvel movie. And the movie itself did so well that Marvel has officially hired Jake Schreier, who directed Thunderbolts, to do the live-action X-Men movie. And I believe the script for that movie is already in the works. So that movie would probably be in production and be done by 2028. I loved each one of the characters in this movie. I know that some people didn't really care for John Walker, but I feel like John Walker was redeemed in this movie a little bit. Florence Pugh did such a great job in her performance as Yelena in this movie. Same with Louis Pullman as Sentry or Bob. And the way they introduced and showed off Sentry and his powers is like one of my favorite scenes of the whole movie. This movie has a very clear message that can grab your heart and pull at the emotions, and it is such a good movie. Another thing that also gives it S tier quality is the post-credit scene. The post-credit scene was directed by the Russo brothers and shot on the set of Avengers Doomsday. This specific post-credit scene is very important, and it also again, this whole movie itself felt like old school Marvel, like Phase 1, Phase 2. It felt like early Marvel, where we had so many cool characters coming together. In a way, even though they didn't have as much of a build-up as the original Avengers, it still has that element and magic of film. And for the final project of Phase 5, IronHeart, honestly, I didn't really care for this show that much. The first 3 episodes they released June 24th. The final 3 episodes they released was July 1st. And honestly, the first 3 episodes of this show felt really slow. It felt really slow. It kind of dragged on a little bit. I will admit, the fact that they didn't give Riri Williams, nanotech and everything, to have a nanotech suit, because everything doesn't need to be nanotech for characters that don't necessarily need it. Because I know that they had like mostly practical suits for her character. The whole mixing technology with magic was kind of cool more towards the end of the season. It just didn't hit me. And people are like, oh, well, this is trying to replace Iron Man's legacy. It's like, it's not trying to replace it. Because even Robert Downey Jr., the actor that plays Tony Stark Iron Man, actually genuinely likes the show. So if he has an approval on it, and he's the guy who kind of started the whole MCU in a way, there's got to be something in there that's good. We did get to see the devil himself, Mephisto, which everyone has been speculating and wanting to see since WandaVision came out in 2021, because people are like, oh, is that Mephisto? Oh, it's red smoke, that's Mephisto. It's like, Mephisto! Now we actually got him. There's a chance we might never see Mephisto again in the MCU, but who knows? So that is my ranking for Phase 5 of Marvel Studios' Multiverse saga. It might be kind of basic, it might be kind of plain. Everyone's allowed to have their own opinion, and that's kind of the whole purpose of this series. It's just me giving you guys my opinion on certain forms of media. With that being said, let me know what your thoughts are on my ranking of Phase 5. Let me know if you agree with it or disagree with it. And let me know what else you want to see me rank in the next tier list video, whether it be games, movies, specific characters, specific places, I don't know. Let me know what you want to see me rank. I'll even do food if you want me to. Also, I just want to say huge thank you to everyone who has watched these videos and commented and left good positive feedback. I know I haven't had enough time to make any new content in a while, and that will soon change starting next month, because I'll actually have more time to make more videos and make better content and actually record and edit something. So stay tuned for next month. I'm going to try and make more videos throughout the rest of July, but just keep enjoying what I got right now. And if you guys want to see me do anything else, leave a comment in the comment section down below. So with that being said, remember to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.